Okay, are you ready for some animations? Yes? Yes? Okay, cool. Before we start, I would like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Elena Gancheva, and I work as a software developer at Kendo UI for Angular. And what we do at Kendo Angular team is delivering pure Angular components, which are highly performant and let you take full advantage of Angular framework capabilities. So I love my job. I love the CSS in my job. How many CSS lovers do we have here today? Ooh, okay, I'm not the only one in the world. Thank you. I'm a dog person, and this here is my buddy Zara. She's the most supportive doggy during all my preparations for conferences and talks. And last but not least, I do ballet since I was 3 years old, and I never stopped ever since. Okay, enough about me. Today, I'm going to talk about Reactive Angular Animations, and I will provide you with some background on how you can build and control animations using SVG, RxJS, and tada, Angular AnimationBuilder Module. I would like to walk you through some of the most important UX concepts which we should keep in mind when we make animations, and I will support them with some coding examples. At the end, we will go through all the goodies we have from this animation builder model. So, why animations are so important? You know that life is a constant motion, and we cannot imagine our daily routine without any movement. And actually, the term animations has an ancient origin, and it started a long time ago when people tried to express motion with carvings or paintings, and of course later with cartoon movies. So motion is a key component in the digital products we use in our everyday job. And why do users love motion so much? Mostly because animations make a perception close to what we have when we interact with the physical world around us. This certainly makes users satisfied and engaged. And to keep that, animations in our user interface require a thoughtful approach and always a clear purpose. So why we should animate? Because it is problem solving. You know, when you have more complicated operations in your UI that users should go through to get their job done, animations can be great of a help for guiding them. This certainly improves the usability and the user experience in our applications. We have smooth transitions between the different states in our application, because no one likes blinking, right? And we have eye-pleasing UI, animations are beautiful. Last but not least, we have user satisfaction and fun. Animations are fun to watch, fun to build, fun to use, and I will show you that today. And as people are mostly visually driven, animations have very big impact on our product. If we want to make that impact happen, we have to provide some UX concepts because we don't want to fail when we build animations. For the demos today, we are going to use first Angular Material. How many of you are using Angular Material? Great. So, Angular Material is a set of Angular components which are implemented following material design specifications, and they have best UX techniques. The pretty cool thing about Angular Material is that you can very easily and fast bootstrap beautiful Angular applications. It just works. Next, we are going to use RxJS. And you know that when we use or build an application, we constantly react to changes. So, reactive paradigm of programming is giving us async data streams, which are a sequence of ongoing events. And those events, they have hooks, which we can observe and, of course, react on. And this is a very powerful way of making full-blown animated UI. Next, we are going to use SVGs, scalable vector graphics, and as the name says, it scales on no display sizes, and this is pretty cool for those of us who constantly support responsive design, on-screen resolution, large desktop tablets, laptops, and so on, retina displays. So SVGs are built with math, and the amazing thing is that they have pretty good browser support, even Internet Explorer 9 Plus, so this is amazing. The SVGs are very easy to be animated. You just put the SVG, everything is in the DOM, select whatever part or path you want from it, and just attach the desired animation. Okay, now let's go back through some Angular Animations history. Angular Animations got introduced back in Angular 2 release, and they're built on top of standard Web Animations API. This is cool because we're striving for CSS performance with the flexibility of JavaScript and the control, of course. While NG 4.2 comes to us with a whole new wave of animation features and very rich animation API, Angular 6 added CSS fallbacks automatically to those legacy browsers that do not support JavaScript animations natively. This is cool. This is awesome. So today, in the Angular world, we have full state observation, translations, and routing animations in our application. Ta-da! Angular AnimationBuilder Module. What is that? How many of you have heard for Angular AnimationBuilder? 1, 2, 3? Cool. Angular AnimationBuilder Module is some kind of dark black magic, but in a good way. So Angular AnimationBuilder Module is an injectable service, which once injected within a component or a directives constructor, it produces animation sequence programmatically. So first, we have an element which we want to animate, and then we have programmatic animations first built. When we build that animation, a player object is returned to us. And with this player object, we have full control of the current animation we are building, of its execution and performance, of course. Okay, enough theory. We're going to walk through the most important UX concepts with some examples. Our first concept for today is animations that enable microinteractions. Okay, what is that? Animations that enable microinteractions make the interaction quick and clear for the users. They're often imitating a real physical interaction, such as pushing buttons or opening doors, or anything that gives an immediate visual feedback to the users. The next concept, yes, this is my doggy. The next concept here is decorative animations. The decorative animations are super fun, and they're using for making the original UI more engaging and interesting. Actually, they're a very good way of attracting users' attention, just like how I'm attracting my dog's attention at home with this traditional Bulgarian sausage called Vukanka. This is the only way she can hear me, I'm telling you. Okay, first demo for today. Let's combine those two UX concepts, and we are going to see decorative animations with microinteraction. To understand how important are the UX concepts, we are going to face problems in our demos, and of course our demos are going to be the solution of that problem. Imagine we have a user that says, I want to see the immediate effects of my interaction. This is his problem. You know, it happens to all of us. Click, nothing. Click, nothing. Click, nothing. Okay, this is not good. So here, I'm going to show you how we can query for inner elements and control animation time gaps by simply using query and stagger functions. And if I move my mouse, its eyes are following me. And when I click it, it gives me love. Or actually, an immediate visual feedback of my click interaction. Okay, let's go through the code. In our animation TypeScript file, we have defined two animations here. Can you see the code? Should I zoom it? Okay. Now? Better? Okay, so here we have defined two animations. The first one is responsible for the eye's rotation. And this animation function accepts a rotation angle as a parameter, which is calculated in the component. It's just some math we did for this eye's rotation. The second animation is used when I click the button. The first thing we want is to hide the eyes and make the hearts visible. And shortly after that, we want to return back the eyes and hide the hearts again. You see? Okay. Changes in those styles we apply by playing with the opacity and scale properties of the elements. And for both animations, we are going to use query function. Here, here. And what query does is to collect one or more inner elements within the element our player object is attached to. Sorry. And with keyframes, we can define a list of styles that the animated elements will have at certain times. So we have control over the time and the animation. And additionally, to make an animation delay, here we are going to use stagger. Stagger is used when I click the button. You see, first we have the right heart visible, and shortly after that, the left one. What stagger does is to create an animation timing gap between each query item is being animated. And this is all we have for this animation implementation. Now let's jump into our component code. Our first job here is to import our animations. Maybe I should move that a little. Okay, so next we want to inject the Angular Animation Builder in our components constructor. We will need the animation element and both animations to create our player object. Our animation element is in the components view, and it is a wrapping element of the elements we want to attach animations to. So to avoid code repetition, I have implemented a method called helper method called player4. And what this method is going to do is to take the element and the animation we want to build. For example, the rotation of the eyes animation. We'll use the builder to build that programmatically animation, and we'll return an instance of that player object to me. With that player object, I can control my animations. And finally, to tie everything together, we are going to use ArcGIS for subscribing to the click and mouse move events. So for every move or click, we are going to play the corresponding animation. And additionally, to limit the events rate execution, because you know move and click, those are mouse events, to limit that rate, we are going to use throttle time. Throttle time is good because this way we can improve the performance and, of course, prevent from some nervous clicking on the button that can cause animation glitches. And that's all we have for that animation. Let's jump to the next concept. Our next concept is animations showing progression. Those animations are demonstrating a stage of a process, for example, how far a process is being executed, and they activate user expectations on when and how one will get the results done. For example, loading animations, when we have to process some logic and wait for some response. The next demo here, just open it. Here, we will notify users that a process has begun after clicking this counter button. Then, we will keep them updated on its progress and finally let them know that the process has finished. And to indicate the available actions here of our users, we are going to attach animations on both arrow and button elements. And for this demo's purposes, I am using Angular Material spinner component here for the loading animation. What is left for us here is to define two animations. The first one, sorry, just a second. The first one, animation, is responding to us and indicates the beginning of the process here for hiding the button, and it's called hide animation. And the next one is for once the process has finished, which will stop the loading animation. So we do that by playing with the visibility, scale, and opacity properties of each queried elements. Changes in the styles for each element could be applied either sequentially or in parallel. And this is what I'm going to show you in this demo. So we can define animations using sequence or group. What sequence does is to give us control to execute animations step by step. We have one animation separated in different steps. And what group does is to give us animation steps that can run and execute in parallel. You can see that for the show animation, we have both query button and arrow elements, and they will be visible at the same time, right? But if I change that to sequence, come on. We will have first the button and shortly after that the arrow element. Okay, let's go to our app component file. In our app component file, we have three things to react on. First is the beginning of the process, and of course the click of the button. For every click, we will make a request to our task service, which is a dummy backend that simulates some requests. Next, we want to get the updates coming from that task service, and we will use them to animate the loading progression. And finally, the end of the process. Once completed, we will stop the loading animation and we will increment the counter button. And in our progress spinner component, once again, we have to import our animations and inject the Angular AnimationBuilder Module in components constructor. Then every time the loading state of our component changes, we will play the corresponding animation. So here we have flexibility of seeing how our states in a component change and execute whatever animation we want. Those animations are engaging users and they are prompting us on how to deal with our applications. They can engage them to take further steps in more complicated operations and guide them. And those animations are very useful when we have to collect a lot of user data, big forms with lots of user data. So here in this demo, we're going to solve another problem here, because users, they all have problems all the time. And our user says, I don't want my application screen to be a mess. So I'm going to show you how we can build reusable sub-animations and multiple elements within one single animation by simply using surprise, surprise animation and use animation methods. Okay, I want to share with you this sad story. A couple of days ago, I tried to make the perfect pizza at home. It is a sad, sad story. It never happened. But I tried, did my best, and I decided to make it on a demo. Okay, first, I had to make my own pizza dough. Okay, I tried that. Next, I had to use salsa as a base for my sauce and add some meat, cheese, and actually I added everything I had in my fridge, so it didn't look that okay. Next, I had to bake it for some time, and finally try it. But I'm a smarty. I made my sister try it first because I didn't want to die before coming here with you to be with you guys. And I'm telling you, the recipe is screw this and go to Italy. Just don't try make your own perfect pizza. It's not going to happen. I will restart that stepper here. Here, this is Angular Material stepper component. And in this demo, we are going to animate this SVG arrow. It is going to guide us through the steps and prompt us to go to the next one. Okay, in our animations TypeScript file, we have reusable animations. Just a second to move that. Come on. Okay. Can you see it? Should I zoom? Yes, no, a little. Okay. How exactly is a little? Is this a little? I'm not sure. Okay, good. Just to. So in our animation TypeScript file, we have reusable sub-animations. And our master animation responsible for the SVG arrow is called next step animation. It is a combination of two others animations. The first one is called color animation. And this animation is applying the filling color and visibility of the SVG arrow. The filling color and visibility, it makes it visible. And the second animation is called, what happened? Okay, yes. Our second animation is called stagger color animation. It simply use our color animation with use animation function and adds a stagger time to create an animation timing gap between each dot of the arrow. You can see that when I click it, we have a delay between each dot is being animated. And this is how we can define reusable animations to use them, to give them parameters and make them very flexible and powerful. In our component code, we have absolutely the same logic for creating our player object and make that animation happen. Do we have a screen? Yes? Okay, so now I want to recap all the goodies we have in Angular AnimationBuilder Module. First, we have full and easy low-level control over the states in our application, and we have reusable animations with parameters, which is very flexible, and of course, improved performance between our components. We have smaller components code. I'm not sure if you write animations when you declare them in the components decorator. If the animation itself is very complicated, our components code can be this large. And this certainly improves our code readability. Here I have listed some great resources that if you're interested on this topic, you can check out. Not only Angular Animations and Animation Builder documentation, but advanced SVG animations and some standard web animations API techniques that with which you can improve the performance of your animations. And of course, how you can strive for accessibility. Because you know, if you are animating very important content, that some disabled people may not get it and may not see it. So when you do animations, you have to be careful and to always provide an option to stop it, pause it, or just remove the animation. Okay, I have one last demo for today, but we won't go through the code. You can check it on my GitHub repo. And as I said, I'm a ballerina. I do ballet since I was kid, and it helped me in implementing animations. And this is the most important concept for me. We have to be careful when we make animations because natural motion matters. And here we are facing a bonus problem. I want to feel that an interaction is natural. So let's show you that demo. So we have this SVG ballerina, and we are going to make her dance. This is all SVG. We are going to use only Angular AnimationBuilder Module here and control her with our player object. So first, we're going to make her do basic practice. Oh, this is awful. Okay, guys, is this natural? Does it feel natural to you? No one has this kind of legs, I hope. And let's fix that. Let's fix that. We should try to fix that. Okay. Just an example for how bad we can make it with animations. Reloading. And okay, this is good, right? More natural. She has legs, 2 legs. It's okay. And let's make her do another moves, maybe the next leg. Okay, good girl. Okay, now we're going to make her shake it. Guys, I'm telling you, this is very difficult for a ballerina. Ballerinas cannot shake it, but our SVG ballerina can, right? Okay, and of course, what is a ballerina without a rotation? Ta-da. You can check the code and find me if you have any questions on it. It's all built with Angular AnimationBuilder Module. So thank you. Thank you for your attention.